Hey guys, Athena here. Welcome back to Code 3 Life. Today I will be doing a reaction video. I want to jump back into that, but like I said in my last video, this is going to be more like a script doctor / reaction video. And I was kind of like going back and forth on what show I wanted to react to because and then I was like, I am actually just gonna look up my most popular video, and whatever video that is the show that I will be watching next. So let me just pull this up. Okay, so it looks like my most popular video is me reacting to Chicago Fire Season 1, Episode 1, and that has almost 24,000 views. Don't talk to me, I'm famous! Okay, we'll go with Chicago Fire. And this, by the way, is a Code 3 Life patch. It's pinned on here because I don't have Velcro on it. So that's pretty cool. I have some patches. Would you guys want that? Is that something that you would want? Because I have quite a few and I could probably order more, but yeah. So that's my Code 3 Life patch, which isn't even on the jacket properly because it's pinned. That's probably gonna poke me at some point today. We're gonna watch Chicago Fire Season 1, Episode 2. Here we go.
Ma'am?
Kind of thick, ain't you?
Whoa! I've never met a firefighter who, like, didn't want to break a door down all the time, which is fair. I also feel that way most of the time.
Hey. I need something.
It's the last one.
Yeah.
I mean it.
Right, it's all good.
So, in general, departments keep a really close eye on their narcs. Like, you check the number of narcs at the beginning of the shift, and then you check the number of narcs at the end of the shift. Sometimes it's on paper, sometimes it's electronic. Some places you even have to scan the narcs in and out. And so maybe this would fly in a super rural system where people don't really keep track of things, but in a system as large and centralized as Chicago Fire, this would not fly. So here's how you make this work. Actually, do I want to tell you how to make this work? Okay, without going into too much detail, I guess, she could take out the medication that she's giving him and replace it with saline. Of course, you'd have to like find a way to get the cap back on in such a way that it is tamper-free and all that stuff, and that is incredibly difficult to do. I don't know how to do it, and I'm fine with that. But in order to make this actually work as a more realistic scene, and one that doesn't make you go, oh, is it really that easy? You'd have to take the medication out and replace it with saline. And then also probably have to do a whole bunch of other stuff to make sure that your tracks are covered, because this would not fly.
Welcome back.
Oh, the guy who got a needle in his chest.
They took the nerve in my leg. I may not walk straight again.
Kennedy, get him a chair.
Whoa. Wait a second, fellas. Are any of my kids around here? My wife or her parents?
No, why?
What the hell? I'm here!
That's rough. That's a really good moment right there where, like, you know, he's injured because he like fell or something, and then that one lady put a needle in his chest for, you know, that was the second needle in the chest that she got to do in the episode. And now they've got a call, and it's going to be exciting because it's a car accident, and there were multiple injuries, and like firefighters love cutting cars apart almost as much as they love breaking down doors. And he's watching all of his coworkers go off and have fun and save the day. That was a really good moment.
Peter? I knew this was gonna be a bad day.
Good.
I told my wife this morning I had a premonition. Are you hurt? Can't breathe. Can't move. All right. Get you out.
How you doing down there, Peter?
Been better. I'm going in.
So stable.
Aren't we all?
His lower leg is strapped, there's internal bleeding.
There's no way to release it?
No.
Other than that, everything's peachy.
Alright, I'll call for a trauma surgery.
How long?
I don't know.
Oh no! No! Oh no! I think I see where this is going. So they do still have some options. Like they could lower some equipment down into the hole and help shift that rock. I mean, they have God knows how many apparatuses on scene with things called airbags that are like meant to slide under something and then inflate and shift things. And so they still have options. However, I have a feeling, because they've been showing those like camera zooms in on the things, I have a feeling that they're gonna cut his leg off, which is done. My medical director at my current system has done it twice. He has done 2 field amputations, but he is a doctor. Okay. And so, yeah, she's like, okay, I'm going to call for a trauma surgeon. And so in some systems, they do have doctors that will go out in fly cars and will bring all of their equipment and will perform field amputations. I don't know if Chicago is one of those systems, but we do not do field amputations. Even if she got a doctor on the phone and explained the situation, a doctor would not say, yeah, just throw a tourniquet on it and use your fucking metal cutter things to cut off his leg. Like, that would not happen. And that's a trope that I really, really don't like in Hollywood, when there's a situation like this and someone's like, I'm gonna do something that'll help, and someone's like, well, how much time is that gonna take? And inevitably the answer is, too much time, I gotta act now. And like, no, that's not how it works, because if the amount of time that that's gonna take was something that would determine whether or not you would actually do it, nobody would ever call a doctor, because they'd be like, I don't wanna wait the 2 to 5 minutes to get a doctor and explain the situation and get these orders. And so I understand that they want things to be like thrilling and really exciting and stuff, but I really do hope that if this scene progresses the way I think it does, and she calls a doc, I'm really hoping that that doctor will walk her through the amputation instead of saying, we'll get somebody on the way there in 20 minutes, and her saying, no, it has to be done now. Because that would be the second time in 2 episodes that she has done something inappropriate and not gotten fired / punished for it. And that just makes me super antsy, because that's not how we do things. We're not cowboys. We don't just shoot from the hip and do whatever the fuck we want to do. We have to follow protocols, and there has to be a trust between the patient and us that we are not gonna just go off the rails and decide to cut somebody's leg off just because we feel like it.
What would a trauma surgeon do that you couldn't?
Take off your foot.
Okay, all right. So this what they're doing is something that they do. They put the patient on a sled and like strap him down with seatbelts, and then they use a ladder to slide him up out of the hole. So that's definitely something that we do.
We don't have time for a surgeon. You're gonna have to do it. Take off the foot.
Tell that surgeon to hurry the hell up!
You all right?
Severize. We need to pull back. It's gonna give.
He's right. Go.
So unfortunately, in this situation, the patient's right. Our first responsibility is the safety of ourselves. Our second responsibility is the safety of our crew. And only then does our responsibility become the safety of the patient once all of that is assured. And so, unfortunately, in this situation, if they are here and it's about to give, they would abandon the patient unless they were able to do an emergent move and maybe damage the leg a little bit and get him out of that situation. But yeah, we are given authorization to leave people if the situation is no longer safe for us. And unfortunately, in mass casualty incidents, this is not a mass casualty because they have the resources to handle all of the patients, but it's definitely a major extrication and all this other stuff. But in these incidents, they do these trainings with us where they tell us that the hardest part of these situations happening is the fact that we are going to have to leave people behind or bypass people in order to help other people. And that is the hardest part, is leaving people behind and dealing with the reactions of people when they see us doing that. And it's really terrible. I personally can't really imagine the feeling of calling somebody for help and then watching them pull back when the situation becomes dangerous. But in this case, the patient is right. I am glad that it's not going to be the female medic, I can't remember her name right now, Dawson or whatever, that's gonna cut off the leg. I'm glad it's not gonna be her because at least they're spreading around the malpractice a little bit.
Casey, I need a Sawzall! Mills, lower me a Sawzall.
Please tell me you're gonna put a tourniquet on him first.
Seven right.
Okay. If he's gonna do this, we've already talked about all of the legal issues. He needs to put on a tourniquet. And that's really, really quick. And it can add drama to the scene because putting on a tourniquet properly is agonizing because you essentially have to crush all of those tissues until it cuts off the vessels, even like deep inside the limb. And it is very, very painful. Like if the tourniquet doesn't hurt, it is not tight enough yet. And I have had to walk patients through placing tourniquets because the tourniquet is more painful than the injury that I'm helping them with. And that can add more drama to the scene because not only is he having to cut this guy's foot off, he's having to cause him really severe pain first by putting on the tourniquet. So I would recommend that that is how they make this scene better and add drama because he's having to cause this patient intense pain twice.
Kelly? Yeah. You got a phone?
Yes. Yes.
Trauma surgeon's on the way down.
It's a recovery now.
No. See, this is how I know that my mental health is getting better, is because I am actually affected by things and I'm not dead inside. So when he says it's a recovery now, that he means it is a cadaver recovery, no longer a rescue, because the patient has died. A few years ago, back in Colorado, I was not on this call, but my mentor was. There was a trench collapse and 2 people were trapped, and this rescue took hours. It took like 4 or 5 hours for them to like painstakingly dig these men out. And they had both of these men talk to their families on the phone because they knew that they were dying and they knew that they were not going to make it out. And like, that doesn't mean that we're not going to try and get them out, but everybody kind of knew that by the time they got these 2 men out, they would already be dead from crush injuries or suffocation or blood loss. And so they had these people talk to their wives and children on the phone. And that is a very appropriate action to take. Like, if he is down in this hole, if he's not going to make it out, yeah, you call the wife and you have them have that last conversation. I can't even imagine being the patient, the spouse, or the provider on scene being involved in that situation. I can't even imagine. But that is the appropriate measure that you take. I mean, that's a biohazard, so maybe don't just leave that there, but like, okay. I do want to point out that those calls can be the hardest, because if you arrive on a scene when somebody is already dead and you are working that arrest, that can be emotional, it definitely can. But the ones that tend to affect you more are the ones where you are with the patient while they're alive and then they die. Because when you're running an arrest, at least for me, and I think for a lot of other people, it's very easy to just be like, okay, I have a protocol, I have an algorithm. I actually have to kind of intentionally think of this person as different pieces. Like, this is the airway, these are the compressions, this is the IV and the fluids, these are the medications. Because if I think of them as a full person, it can affect my emotions enough that my care is no longer the best that I can make it. But when you're talking to a person and you're getting to know them and you're hearing about their life and their life that they have, and then they die, those are the calls that suck, because that person started out as a live person and you made that connection.
Go home, just go back to wherever you came from. I'm not.
Oh, you got a nasty cut there.
Keep your hands off me.
Hey, what happened here?
No one here saw anything.
It's called a black and tan.
It's called a half and half, you moron.
Long live our
Let's move now, all right? All right, come on. Yeah, we're going. Let's go. Move over here. Move, guys.
Don't come back. It's off.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
You gotta give it a rest and hold still, sir.
Black and tan. Black and tan. Hello, sweet cheeks.
Oh my!
Get your hands off me.
Probably the most accurate scene in this show that I have seen ever. The disorderly conduct and the fact that nobody saw anything, and the fact that the guy is belligerent and rah. See, that was an excellent example of a scene not being safe and them making an emergent move to take the patient with them as they exited the unsafe scene. And then, of course, him sexually assaulting her. And in this particular situation, I really hope she presses charges, because that's not appropriate.
How long have you been a firefighter?
Since the day I was born.
Please, is Cameron okay? Is she okay?
I'm not sure, honey. Let's just concentrate on you right now, okay?
That's a good answer, honestly. Especially since, like, Dawson didn't even see the other patient, and so that's a good answer.
You thought about doing rounds with me? Are you sure it's not too much trouble? Are you kidding? I'd love it. You're already doing half the procedures we do. That's doubtful. Hey, you're gonna be a great doctor. Trust me. You have more experience than half of these Ivy League clowns.
Hey.
That's true. Oh my gosh. So my husband is in med school right now, which I told you guys in my last video. And most of the people in his class are either straight out of undergrad or like 1 or 2 years out of undergrad. And most of them do not have any patient experience whatsoever. And oh my God, does it make a difference. For those people who are thinking like, I want to go PA, I want to go to med school, I want to go NP, that kind of thing, just higher level of care, it is a really good idea to get hands-on patient care. Preferably hands-on patient care where you are making decisions like an EMT on a BLS 911 truck in a rural system, which is what my husband was, even though he has worked on ALS trucks as well, or a paramedic or that kind of thing, because the amount of exposure that you get to so many different things, especially if you're a really curious person and you find something that you've never seen before and you like Google it and research it, is just invaluable. You cannot get it in school. It is a little funny to see these kids, because they are kids, they're very young, just not know anything. the experience that you get from being on an ambulance, and I'm biased, but like the experience that you get from pre-hospital or that kind of thing, I think will really help you if you're wanting to go a little bit higher in your level of care.
Is the blood off? I don't want her to see the blood. Here. There, you're good. Am I here? I should have got it cut.
Okay, it looks fine. It's fine.
Do you remember how I made you promise me that you'd let me die before you? Well, thank you, my love. Because I couldn't live a day in this world without you.
All right, that was Chicago Fire, Season 1, Episode 2. I'm not really going to comment on how it was medically because the medical accuracy is not the point. The point is drama and storytelling and stuff, but I really think that these things could be made even better by making it a little bit more accurate, because I feel like that would make it ring a little bit truer. And as for that last scene, when what's-his-face goes to the wife of the patient who died and shows her that video, that is definitely a pretty big breach of boundaries, because we really shouldn't be doing those kind of like one-on-one things, especially if it's not sanctioned by the places that we work. But if she had been shown that video while the firefighter was there, but also maybe, you know, if there was a grief counselor there as well, or maybe if there was his supervisor there to like really provide like a stabilizing presence or to support both the firefighter and the widow, I don't know. I feel like that could have been done better, because just having it one-on-one, it honestly didn't really feel that intimate to me. And if something like that happened, it is much more likely that that video would be shared with the widow in a much more structured setting. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it had some really good moments. I'd say that a lot of the moments that I thought were good were not medical, but kind of like captured the more like emotional truth to things. So yeah, those are my notes on how to make it even better and how to make it even more accurate. I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys like this kind of new vibe of like, hey, here's how to make it better, instead of this is terrible, because that's just kind of the vibe that I'm in my life right now. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. If you'd like me to review other things, please suggest specific episodes. If you guys have specific moments that you would like to see me script doctor up a little bit, I think that would be better than me just like picking an episode at random. I've been writing down some ideas for videos that I want to do for this channel, so let me know if you guys are interested in these. I do, like I said, want to do a video on just COVID and how COVID has affected my job as a paramedic. I was thinking about maybe doing a week in my life vlog. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but it seems to be the thing to do. I also want to watch another episode of Night Watch, because that was absolutely amazing. We stand Holly in this house. And I also was thinking about doing a video about how to be successful as a brand new EMT, because I feel like a lot of the questions I get are people who are either brand new to the field or are thinking about going to EMT school or are currently in EMT school and are really just looking for advice on how to succeed and need just a little bit of guidance on like maybe a direction to take. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you guys are having a good and safe week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.